Custom integrated circuits, artificial intelligence, advanced radar systems. Usually, a portfolio like that belongs to a multi-billion-dollar global tech giant. But imagine managing all of those distinct, highly specialized divisions with a company of exactly 60 employees. We all know how easy it is to drop the ball when we try to answer emails, cook dinner, and take a phone call all at the same time. Now scale that up to an entire technology firm attempting to juggle 10 completely distinct branches of hard science. The financial reality behind this operation is stark. This specific company has spent the last 15 years operating at a loss, stacking up a 2 billion yen deficit. That's roughly $14 million in the red. They belong to a very specific structural anomaly in the tech world, the zombie RNA firm. When 60 people try to dominate a dozen specialized fields at once, the math of human attention starts to break. It creates a surface-level appearance of progress, while the underlying structure becomes increasingly unstable. Starting with 60 employees, subtracting management leaves an engineering core of 35. Designing one custom ASIC needs this entire team's singular focus for years. When forced to develop AI, radar, and IoT simultaneously, the workforce shatters into isolated groups of 3, struggling with distinct, complex technologies. This is where the math turns hostile. By splitting 35 engineers across 10 high-stakes domains, reducing the resource pool to a level where meeting world-class specs becomes a physical impossibility. When this firm fails to meet a deadline or deliver a working prototype, it is not because the individual engineers lack skill. The collapse is purely structural, the direct result of a fragmented corporate portfolio strategy. So how does a company like this acquire new projects? They rely heavily on a hunter-gatherer sales model. The founder goes out to evening drinking sessions, using personal charisma to secure random contracts. Because these deals are built on personal relationships rather than the firm's actual capabilities, management bypasses essential competency checks. The engineering team is suddenly forced to accept vaguely defined projects that don't match their expertise. The moment you accept poorly defined work, you lose control of the project scope. As inevitable delays pile up, the client sees total power over the deadlines and demands. Software startups can pivot cheaply when they make a mistake. Hardware development, however, is chained to sunk costs, massive, unrecoverable expenses tied directly to physical manufacturing. Unlike the flexible software track, creating physical microchips follows a rigid one-way pipeline. Mistakes lock massive capital into unpatchable inventory. Yet, while the company bleeds capital, government subsidies and insider loans keep executives comfortable.
Founders maintain high salaries, completely insulated from the expanding 2 billion yen deficit. Shielded from the financial destruction they are causing, the leadership misinterprets the constant chaos and context switching as relentless entrepreneurial hustle. The cycle spins on. This entire system has a strict, hard-coded expiration date. Within the next 5 years, the founder is going to retire. The day the founder steps down, the sales pipeline will evaporate. The contracts were built entirely on their personal social network, and that charisma cannot be handed off to a successor. Without the founder's influence masking the reality, banks and stakeholders will finally take a cold, hard look at the brutal mathematics of the company's debt. Financial institutions will instantly freeze their credit lines. There is no logical reason to continue funding a 60-person operation that bleeds cash in 10 completely different directions. This creates a massive leadership vacuum. Even if a highly rational, deeply competent executive takes over, they are stepping into a scenario that cannot be saved. The only way to fix the math is through immediate, aggressive downsizing. But after 15 years of accumulated debt, the firm has zero capital left to afford severance packages or engineer a soft landing. This massive technological portfolio rests on a foundation of social favors rather than sustainable revenue. For 15 years, the entire structure has relied on a single person's networking ability to keep the lights on. If you are an engineer caught inside a multitasking trap like this one, the mandate is clear. Absorb every piece of technical knowledge you can and secure an escape hatch, because eventually the math catches up with everyone.